Hey everyone, well, welcome to our debut episode of Weight Loss Chat. And I'm excited that we have Beth Kirk here on our debut episode. And Beth is, Beth, rather than me spending too much time introducing you, how about if you just go ahead and introduce yourself to the folks, and maybe a couple of pieces of information, if you could share, first of all, how many weeks you've been on the weight loss program, and then also share how much weight you've lost to date, and we'll go from there.
Hi, this is Beth. I have been on the HealthPointe weight loss program for 12 weeks, and I'm at 25 pounds lost, and it's going well, so pretty excited.
Okay, great. Thanks, Beth. And, as your coach, I know that 25 pounds has been just real on track with the program. So for those of us that are knowledgeable on the cycles of the program, we've got 6-week cycles where there's 4 weeks of weight loss, and then there's 2 weeks following that for what we call add more food day. So your 12 weeks has been 2 cycles, 2 6-week cycles, and you've tracked just solidly on that 2 to 4 pounds per week. And of course, on any kind of a journey, you're going to have some variability here and there. And I know you had a little bit of variability on your first run through on the Add More Food days, but you've done a great job of correcting course. And on your second one here, which you're kind of wrapping up right now, you are doing absolutely stellar on that. So what I'd like to ask you to share is, the decision to do a program is, very personal thing, with different personal motivations. Some people have the motivation, maybe they've gone to the doctor for a checkup, and the doctor has given them some information regarding their weight that they needed to make a change, and maybe that's what motivated them to start looking for programs and make a decision. Other people, maybe they're just experiencing just some physical limitations, or maybe they're just not happy with things. But again, it can be some life events. But we all know that there comes a point where you're ready to make a decision. And so, if you could speak to what it is about, or what it was about yourself that kind of prompted you to be ready to make a decision, and not so much on this specific program, because you first had to, you must have been kind of considering or thinking about it before you crossed paths with this program and said, hey, this is what I'm going to do. So not so much what prompted this specific program, but what was going through your mind that you can share that kind of had you at a point where you were quote unquote ready. If you could share that would be great.
My main motivating factors were really 3 things. One, I have young children, little kids, and I wanted to be able to run around and feel good and play with them and have the ability to do that. And having been an athlete my entire life, since having kids, my body was completely different, and I had gained a lot of weight, 50 pounds. And that was hard for me, not only in how I looked, but also in just how I felt in my clothes and how I felt running around. And the third main one for me was health, because I have had 4 knee surgeries, and do have some diabetes in my family. So those are 2 reasons I really felt like I needed to do something now. My kids are only getting bigger, and I want to be able to play with them more, and my body can't handle carrying the extra weight due to joint issues as it is. So those are, I guess, my main motivating factors. Plus, I just wanted to feel good in my skin. And my entire life, I'd always felt good in my skin until after having babies. And I wanted to enjoy every moment as opposed to just being frustrated about how I looked and felt. So those are my main motivating factors, and knowing I needed to make some changes.
Well, thanks, Beth. And those are some great reasons. You know, the motivation of the children, right? That is, I think a lot of people can relate to that. Children and just being able to experience a great life with your family, your personal health history, and your athleticism, and your joints, and then also your family health history. And we all know about excess weight and the effects that can have on diabetes and so forth like that. So thanks again for sharing on that. That is some great stuff. I wanted to, as we kind of bring it home here, pick up on one of the things that you mentioned at the end there, and that was you were motivated to make some changes. And, you know, of course, doing anything different is going to require some change. But on this program, I often comment about how it's uncomfortable at times, like any change would be, but not necessarily difficult. And again, everybody is different. But the analogy I use is that if all of us were to cross our arms in front of our body, you know, just cross our arms like folding our arms, and then you're asked to unfold your arms and fold them again, but put the opposite arm over, in other words, reverse it, how would that feel? Would that be hard? No, I don't think that would be hard. Would that be uncomfortable? Yes, extremely uncomfortable. And if somebody's never done that, just try it real quick, and you can't believe how uncomfortable it is. However, after you've done that for a little while, maybe days in a row, maybe weeks in a row, now that becomes very comfortable. So what was uncomfortable is now comfortable. And so you talk about change, and I wonder, again, as we kind of bring this discussion home, if you can key in on maybe two aspects of the program and talk about, you know, how hard or easy it was to integrate that into your lifestyle. Again, you've got a busy family, you have a business that you operate, and you've got a lot going on. And we know in the program we've got eating structure, we've got certainly hydration with water, we have supplementation, and then we have movement, specifically with pedometer measurement and 10 to 15,000 steps. So if I could ask you to maybe key in on just two of those elements, one being the food and how hard or easy it was to integrate that into your lifestyle as you move along through the weeks on this program, and you've got just day-to-day eating. You certainly during the holidays, you have, you know, family get-togethers. You've got times that maybe you go out to eat, and all the different things that happen in life. And how are you finding the eating to be, including the snacking? Is that hard? Is that easy? And then secondly, keying in on the movement, because that's also something that is questioned or asked about, and that is, you know, how hard or easy is it to do the necessary quote-unquote exercise? Now, in our case, again, it's not necessarily going to the gym or lifting a bunch of weights or anything, but we key in on that daily 10 to 15,000 steps a day. So if you could comment on those two things and how it was that you found the experience of integrating that into your life, into your lifestyle, and kind of building the habits around that, that'd be great.
I would say initially, probably the first week to 2 weeks of the food piece, planning and scheduling and doing all that was somewhat challenging. But minimally challenging, I think, is how I would describe it, because not nearly as challenging as I anticipated. And I quickly fell into a good routine. So I like structure, so that helps too. But it hasn't been that hard. Certainly easy to. I try to keep it simple because I have to survive, and it has been. Snacking has always been, pretty normal for me. So, trying to keep a level of maintain some kind of a stream, I guess is what I'm saying. And so that wasn't difficult. And really writing it down is obviously huge because it kind of cues me in on, I should probably have a snack now because I just take a peek at my book or whatever. That does help me a lot. But from a food standpoint, it was minimally challenging to get into a good routine. Going out to dinner has been quite easy, actually, because just go pick something that, seems, from the food choices and make good portion decisions there. So it hasn't been bad. And then from a movement standpoint, that part's easy for me. One, because I love to move. And two, because, mostly because I love to move, and it's always been a part of even through my 50-pound weight gain, I was moving every day. I was working out, I was doing stuff, but the working out was hard. It was hard on my joints, and I can already feel it getting easier. So for me, the movement piece is very simple. Again, as I already said, I have 2 little kids, so that in and of itself, plus just my day at our business is not spent in a chair, so I'm fortunate there that I naturally get the steps that is required or suggested within this program with very little effort, really no effort at all, and I have higher goals as far as movement in regards to that for me personally. So, the movement piece has been much easier than the food piece, but the food piece, I will say, has been pretty straightforward. Finding snacks that, give me the right nutritional content was easier also than I thought. And I do have, a lot of my snacks are the same snacks all the time, but I don't mind that. And it's nice to know and have those around as go-tos so that if I don't have time to pack a lunch, I have at least all my quality snacks there, and that saves me.
Well, thanks, Beth. And let me say, too, thanks not only for your comments on your journey here, your weight loss journey, but also I want to say thanks for being a bit of a guinea pig, we'll say, on being part of this debut program of Weight Loss Chat. For those listening that haven't already picked up on it, you should know that this isn't a live face-to-face conversation that Beth and I are having. Geographically, we're, 2 different places for sure. And it's not even a fluid phone conversation. In fact, we are using chat. In fact, we're using the chat feature of a chat app that we use in the program, a voice chat app that we use in the program for communication. So it's not exactly easy to carry on a bit of a disjointed conversation. So again, Beth, thank you very much for participating in this. You're doing great, and you are essentially halfway through your weight loss journey. You mentioned a number of times about your 50 pounds, and you have a 50-pound goal, and you're 25 pounds through it, and you're doing excellent. And no doubt in my mind that you're going to continue on and hit that 50-pound goal. And then more importantly, or very importantly, I should say, continue to keep it off, because that's part of the program as well. And we'll be covering that when we get to that stage of the game. So again, thank you, Beth. For those listening that have questions, have interest, you can certainly reach out if this is on any social media. You can certainly reach out in the comments to either Beth or myself. If you want to reach out in a private message through a direct message, you can do that. If you're not catching it on that mode like Facebook, but just want to maybe send a text message, a number that you can send a text to is 517-290-6117. and just put your name, just include your name and just say weight loss. All you need to do is start the conversation, and getting started is the most important part. So again, you can just send a text to 517-290-6117. Just say who you are and just say weight loss, and then we'll carry on a conversation from there. So again, hope you enjoyed. Beth, thanks again. And until next time, we'll continue on.